All along I had known I was undocumented, but then I started meeting folks and really started listening to folks share their stories with other people about being undocumented. I was like, wow, that's amazing, they're so brave. And I think that opened a whole new world for me. But even then, my story, my identity as being queer took a back seat. And that's how I saw it as well, because of what people were telling me, right? That they were not together, that, you know, that we could do this, you know, one fight at a time, and that queer issues had nothing to do with immigrant rights. And then I was away, but I'm both. But I think what's really interesting is, you know, the dynamics of our culture and tradition, you know, patriarchy, religion, machismo. I haven't had a relationship with my father because of that, because, you know, of the fear in him, I feel, of accepting, you know, and opening up to learning what it means to be gay, and to accept what it means to have a gay son. When I started really hearing more about, you know, gay, and in very negative terms, right, that, you know, gay people go to hell, and, you know, gay people are not accepted, and gay people are not, you know, healthy people, really hit home when I was like 13, 14, going on to 15, to the point, you know, where I did, you know, consider committing suicide during that time. I just couldn't bear that if I were to come out, that I was gonna lose my mother like I did with my father. Moving to the United States or coming over was something very exciting at that time for me, because it meant leaving all that behind, including leaving my father behind. I'm very grateful that I have my mother, although she herself didn't understand what that meant and what implications that would bring for me. She just, you know, stood by me and defended me. And when I was 15, we were on our way home, and we were at a red light. I remember that she turned off the radio, and it was one of those moments where, like, you know, something's coming, you don't know what it is, but something's coming at you.
Coge la música y todo eso, porque yo le pregunté directamente, ¿te gustan las mujeres o te gustan los hombres? Pero yo, desde que yo nací, yo ya traía en mi mente eso, pero como uno, no está uno ignorante, está uno en un rancho más cerrado, pero ya cuando viene uno aquí, como que se abre más de mentalidad, y yo veía muchas cosas que no eran normales. Bueno, a mi manera de pensar de cómo uno vivía.
Pues yo me sentía con miedo, ¿no?
Ajá,
porque
sí.
yo ya había visto el rechazo de mi papá, ¿no?
Oh, sí, pues,
y pues yo quería decir, pues sí, si le digo y no me acepta y qué pasa, ¿no? Pero yo siempre me acordaba de que me defendías. Yo sabía que había ese apoyo, pero porque pues nunca hablábamos de eso. Yo sentía que...
Sí, nunca habíamos directamente tratado el tema. Siempre sabíamos más o menos los dos, yo creo que él también, pero nunca directamente a él que me dijera sí. No me daba tristeza ni coraje por mí, sino que me daba tristeza por él, porque lo iban a ofender y no sabía cómo defenderse de las personas que los ofenden porque son gay. Entonces yo quería saber, para yo también protegerlo y saber cómo defenderlo.
From that very moment, I think it was what I needed to really start to really embrace and experience, you know, my identity. How do I, you know, at times when I walked into a meeting or went to a rally, I was like, okay, today I'm wearing my undocumented hat only, but not my queer hat. I could point out that there was other gay folks, you know, queer folks in the room, but they were also not sharing their stories. So I really started questioning that and putting that responsibility on my shoulders, say like, we need to talk about this. But I found it very difficult, and it was very painful. I came to a realization that that couldn't happen, that I could not negotiate, that I had to be both every time in front of everyone, at every rally, at every press conference, at every meeting. When I really started saying it, then people started connecting the dots and saying, yes, you're right. Yes, we need to do this. And so that's when we started creating a space at the Orange County Dream Team. And from there, we've been able to really expose those conversations to other community organizing spaces. I went to just a friend's wedding. The groom was my friend, right, not the bride. And we've worked as community organizers for some time now. We really have a close relationship and connection. Walking up to the line where like girls were getting in line to dance with him, right? And for me, it was like, no, I want to dance with him because he's the person I'm here for. I care for him. And there was, yeah, like even being in that line, like doubting myself. What are people gonna say? Is his family gonna take this as an, like, you know, offensive, you know, in the wrong way? But I stuck to my guns, you know. I'm like, no, like this is the right thing. I feel like I need to do this because I want to dance with him. I want to show him that I care for him. And so I danced with him, and there was some looks, you know, people were like, what's happening, right? But But then people after that came up like, oh, that's brave, you know? I was like, I don't think it's about brave. I think it's just doing the right thing.